So the market has tanked again last night and everything is down. There's a lot of fear, growing concern about the coming recession, ongoing war, rising inflation, and things looks like it's going to get worse. In this video, I want to share with you my thoughts on why this, I believe, is the best time to focus on your business, gain market share, and become very rich while everyone is playing defensive. So I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible. So I'll go straight into the 3 points that I want to bring across. The first point I want to bring across is when fear is at an all-time high, there are less distractions. Less distractions because there are less shiny objects. So let's face it, when the market is going up, everyone was feeling high. I remember when everyone was feeling like a genius, everyone buy anything goes up. I saw business owners, I know of some personal business owners, they got distracted from their business and they even stopped running their business and chase this shiny object. And I mean, the truth is, I won't blame them, right? Why work so hard on your business when your investment can double, triple, or even 10x in a matter of months? And this was proven true with a lot of speculative assets such as crypto and a lot of growth stocks. But now that season is over. The season of easy money is over. And there are now less or no more distractions. In fact, if you are constantly checking the news right now, everything that you're reading is going to be negative news. The press, that's how media makes money, by selling clicks through negative news. They're going to continue to release news worse than it sounds just so they can get more clicks and get more advertising revenue. So if you're constantly reading the news, this is going to be bad for your mental health. We all know that this will pass. History has proven over and over again that any kind of crisis will eventually pass. Just that we do not know when. It could take a few more months, maybe another year, maybe even a few years. We really do not know. As long as you're not over leveraged with too much debts and you hold on to your most convicted assets and just turn off the news, you'll be fine. The reason is simple. You cannot control what's going on in the world. You cannot control when the war will end. You cannot control when oil prices will drop. You cannot control when inflation will stop rising. So why do you want to focus on them? In times like this, you want to focus on what you can control instead of what you cannot control. There are more things you can control than what you cannot control. You still can control the number of hours you're going to be putting into your business. You still can control the number of hours on focusing and serving your customers and innovating and improving on your product and services. Because if you do that, if you have an irresistible offer that solves your customers' pain, they are still going to buy from you regardless of whether there's a crisis or no crisis. And this leads to point number 2. Number 2, some customers will buy even more in a crisis. This is especially true if you are an expert or in the info business. So here's an example. Many of my audience, they are real estate agents or financial planners. In times of uncertainties like this, people are looking for answers. People are looking for what to do right now. And they are looking for someone to guide them through the mess. So you can be the one to rise up and guide your customers. They need you now more than ever. This is the time that you establish yourself as a market leader while your competitors go on a defensive mode and getting distracted with what's going on in the world. And then when the storm has come, you will remain as the leader because you rise up in this season. See, even in our own business, we are seeing an increase on our own software users. Because our own customers are also starting to see point number 1. They realize that all this shiny object is going away and they want to focus on their business. And because our software helps business owners capture more leads and to close more sales, they are now buying more, right? We are growing in numbers of users. And so what if you are not in a business related to the financial markets, right? What if you're in a wellness or health business? This still applies to you. And I'm going to lead to point number 3. Point number 3 is play offensive when your competitors are playing defensive. And this is what's happening right now. Many of your competitors are playing defensive. Here's a quick story to elaborate that. Remember during the peak of COVID fear, when COVID first hit the world and the world went into a lockdown and the economy and the stock market was tanking and there was a lot of uncertainties about what's going on because people were losing their jobs and many business owners were uncertain what's next. And so when people are uncertain, they do the classic defensive move. They cut costs, they cut employees, they cut marketing budget. And there was a lot of business owners that I know that decided to just play defensive during this period. And they decided to do nothing and see what happens. And they just sat on the sidelines. Now, this is the period where me and a few of my friends, we started a brand new company. And while everyone was playing defensive, we went super aggressive with our marketing and we grew our revenue from zero, because it's a brand new company, to over $10 million in 1 year. And we were super profitable. Now, why? Because when others are fearful, they are cutting back marketing budget to prepare for the worst. They are cutting back costs to prepare for the worst. This means they are less aggressive in gaining market share. And this means that demand for marketing and advertising were at all-time low. I'm not sure if you remember, there are some articles out there that showed revenue for Google ads and Facebook ads were dropping. And because most of these advertising are based on demand and supply, this means that it became very cheap for us to run advertisements. And I recall that during this period, the cost to acquire a customer in this particular market we were in dropped by at least 70 to 75%. This means that if it normally costs us $200 to acquire a customer through advertising, it only cost us $50 during the peak fear period. And we were super profitable because once we acquire a customer, that's not the end, right? There's a customer journey. You can still increase the customer lifetime value by getting them to buy more and to buy again. When you get the customers to buy more and buy again, you don't have to spend money to acquire them again. Does it make sense? So during this period, if cost per acquisition is cheap, this is the time that you want to be super aggressive, acquire as many customers as possible, so that when ad cost goes up again, and your competitor is coming back in and they're fighting among themselves, you can just focus on increasing the customer lifetime value, which doesn't require you to come out with any more advertising costs. And this is actually what happened. Eventually, the market recovered. We all know that after that, the Fed was printing money. They were flooding the economy with a lot of liquidity, and market was starting to go up again. And most business owners started to realize that ad cost was very cheap, and they started jumping back in. And this was around a period of 6 to 12 months. We had a good 6 to 12 months of really good times for us. And then eventually ad costs went back normal. But because we were aggressive, we acquired a huge amount of the market share while our competitors were sitting on the sideline. And when they came back in, we have already cashed out a few $1 million in profits. So what can we learn from that story? Now, I know that the current situation is a bit different from the COVID crisis, but the fundamental truth here is the same. A lot of business right now, a lot of your competitors will now cut costs, cut employees, cut marketing budget, and just sit on the sideline again, because every time they're uncertain, they just want to play defensive and see what's next. I personally think that this is going to be a good time to reinvest the profits that I made previously and to gain market share for my current business again, and to acquire more customers at a discounted price. I believe that as more businesses start to cut down in their marketing budget, we are going to see a repeat of lower ad costs, lower acquisition costs because of what's happening. And once I've acquired all these customers, I will then work on increasing the lifetime value of my customers when my competitors are playing catch-up game. In fact, I was thinking whether I should do this video because I'll be revealing this to a lot of my competitors. But again, I did this channel because I want to be able to add as much value as possible. That's the reason why I'm sharing openly and transparently. And I believe that you can do the same as well. There'll be less competition. There'll be more opportunities for you to grow your business right now. There's less distraction. There's more time for you to focus on your business. And there's opportunity to acquire a customer at a cheaper cost. So just a shameless plug here that if you want to tap on this opportunity to acquire hundreds of high quality leads at a cheaper cost right now, I have a free training that I've been running for the past few months. And I think this is more relevant now than ever that you can watch. And I'll put the link in the description below. I hope that this video has inspired you in some way and helped you to shift your focus in a positive direction. And I will be walking this journey with you. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.